Hello. This was a little surprise Facebook Live. Glad you could join on last minute notice. Tonight we're going to be making these cute cards. If you didn't see, hi Kim. If you didn't see the post that I did a couple hours ago with the link for the printable, you can jump off of Facebook Live and go in there and print out the printable that you'll need if you want to make the cards along with me. If you're just going to watch right now and then go back later and do the cards, that's fine too. Okay, no problem. No problem, Kim. You can also catch up, or you can print out. You'll be fine. So, hi Rosie. So this is the printable. It looks a little crazy, right? Because it's like, which way is this going? But I'll take you through the step-by-step on how to put together these cards. This one says sending you, and then on the inside, a socially distant hug. Can't wait to hug you with my arms again soon. So that's that one. And then this one says, I miss your smile. And it's got a little mask, and then inside it's just the smiley face. Okie doke. All right, so some of the supplies that you might want, you might not. If you have the custom cutting system, you'll want your custom cutting system mat and blue blade and your middle circle. And if you don't know what the custom cutting system is, well, you'll see it in action tonight, because that's how I made the face, the circle for the front of the card. So this set is probably 20 years old. This is probably one of the very first things that I purchased when I was first introduced to Creative Memories. So this is a tool that will definitely last. I think this is my second set of blades. The first set of blades didn't rotate. So 20 years ago, the little blade inside didn't rotate. So you kind of had to contort your hand to get it to go. Now, because the blade is on a rotation, you can keep your hand in the same position as you go around and cut. So that's the only change they've made in 20 years. They've come out with some different templates and whatnot, but the circles and the ovals has 4 different templates. Those are my go-tos for when I'm scrapbooking for sure. So if you don't have the custom cutting system, definitely worth the investment. You can purchase the blades individually. They're $7.50 each. There's 3 of them, which allows you to double mat items. The one I use the most probably is the red, but we're using the blue tonight on the middle circle template, which is labeled 2.5 inches and 5. And if you didn't know, it's very light. Maybe the light just caught it. That says 2.5 upside down. And there's also a 5 labeled on here, right here. And so it's 5 inches if a circle on the outside and a 2.5 inch circle on the inside when you're cutting with the red blade. So if you didn't know those were labeled, they are. And we're going to use the middle one on this. All right, so if you don't have the custom cutting system, I just grabbed a thing of glitter. You can always trace and cut out that way. You could definitely go, low tech on this. I'm using my old as dirt Creative Memories heart punches for these cards as well. And if you don't have a heart punch or this heart punch or any heart punch, you can always, fold the paper and cut out your hearts that way. So you definitely don't need to have these specific tools to make these cards and to, brighten someone's day. at this time. So the other sort of optional thing is I have inked the sides of my card. On this one, I inked it with a red because that was the color paper that I used. But I'm going to be using this double dipped paper, and I have a box of like these photo mats that are 4.5 by 6.5. So you can always just use, you know, one of these or any other scrap paper that you have. And if you don't have distress ink, and if you're not familiar with that is, that's fine too. This is one of those optional things. I'm going to do it in my demo just to give you maybe a little bit time to catch up, because it'll take me some time to kind of go around the cards and ink. And so if you're making the cards with me, that'll give you some catch up time. All right, so we will go ahead and get started here. So if you're doing it along with me, you've got your printable, which looks like this. And what you're going to do is cut it the long way. So normally when I'm cutting 8.5 by 11 cardstock for cards, I'm cutting it at 5.5, which is in half this way. But for these cards, because they're a little bit different fold than your traditional card, we're going to cut it at 4 1/4. So I'm using my Creative Memories 12-inch trimmer, which you know I love. Hi, Julie. Okay, well, that's fine. You can definitely watch. You've got the link. You can go back and create. You can go back and create later. All right, so we're going to cut this at 4 1/4, and we've got basically our 2 cards. All right, so this is the inside of one, and I'm going to show you what to do, and then this is the outside of the other. I'm going to go ahead and get all of our cutting done first so that we can switch over to the scoring blade. Hi, Kirsten. So what we need to do now is cut off the sending you part for the front, and what we're going to do is slide that over to the 3/4 inch mark. Now you can do it when I'm cutting like small things, less than, you know, 2 inches. I like to go this way on my cutting, but you can also do it this way and cut to 3/4 inches. All right, so I'm going to line this up with 3/4 inches and cut that there. Okay. Now I'm going to use my little personal trimmer and cut off just the bottom part, but the 3/4 inch cut is kind of just makes it easier for measuring, because then I don't have to tell you, like, you know, to cut it 2 1/8 or whatever. So it'll be a nice round number, or not cut to score. All right, so we can just set this aside for now, and we can set the other one. Next, we're gonna grab our piece of printed paper, and we're going to cut at 2 inches on our printed paper. Now, I'm going to check first and see if this is 4 1/4, and this is 4.5. So I'm going to trim off 1/4 inch because we need it to be 4 1/4. I think I said on your materials watching that it needs to be 4.5 by 6.5. I just want it to be big enough. So go ahead and trim it down to 4 1/4. So now this is 4 1/4, and then we want a little 2 inch piece. So now I'm going to line it up with the 2 inches. Okay. And then this is what we're going to use to make our mask out of and to cut our hearts out of. So we can set that aside for now. All right, now that we've done all of our cutting, I'm going to take out my cutting blade here out of the 12-inch trimmer. That's the straight blade. I'm going to flip this over and get out my scoring blade. Okay, now that I've got the scoring blade in, I'm going to go ahead and get the I Miss Your Smile piece, and we're going to score it at 5.5. And so on this trimmer, I've mentioned it many times, the thing that I love about this trimmer is right to the edge is 5.5, and if you're a card maker, that's kind of a magic measurement for you. So I'm just going to score this at 5.5, and now I can fold that, and that's good to go. All right. And then I'm going to take this piece again, and I'm going to score it at 2 inches. So I'm going to turn it upside down, because on the side of the G, we're going to score it 2 inches, because that's the side that we cut off the 3/4. So 2 3/4 and 2 3/4 is 5.5. So that's why we're doing it at 2 inches. We already cut the 3/4 inch off here. And then on this side, we're going to go to 2 3/4, and we're going to score. Okay, so now we've got our score lines on those, and we shouldn't need this again. I am going to need my little personal trimmer. And I'm just while I'm doing all my cutting, I'm going to just cut off a sliver on the bottom of this one, just so that the sending U is centered, and then I'm going to cut off the end part. Okay, I'm leaving on this part because that's where I'm going to attach the heart. Okay, all right, so now the heavy duty cutting is done, and now is the time that if you have your distress ink, that now is the time that you're gonna ink everything. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and if anyone has any questions while I'm doing that, or you can ask, or if you need to hop off of live and go print the printable, you can do that. It's just going to take me a couple minutes to do this. So you thought this little handy dandy applicator, ink applicator, which these little pads attach by Velcro so that you can, change them for different colors. So I'm just going to go ahead, go around the outside. When I do these little cards with you, these little quick cards with the printables, sometimes if I were doing an in-person class, maybe they would be stamps, that kind of thing. But I'm trying to, make it so as many people as possible can participate, which is why I do the printable. And then you can alter based on how you like, or on the supplies and tools that you have. All right, so that one's done. And then this one, has a little bit more edges. So I hope you all had a safe weekend, and I hope that you're having a good week so far. Short week. Those of you that are registered, I have my card class. I did design the printable. Yep, I designed the printable on Artisan, and that allows me to save it as a PDF, and then I can upload the PDF to my website so that I have a link that I can share with you all. So the next card class is Thursday night. I did sell out, so if you missed that, there will be one in a couple weeks in June, and I will be announcing that after the card class this Thursday, and you'll see a link. If you haven't done one of the online card classes, we assemble them on Facebook Live, so just like this, but you would have a card kit in front of you, and there's several of you that are getting the card kits, or actually you should have all already received them. And those ones go a little bit longer than this is going to go tonight. These are just some quick some quick cards just so I can say hi to you on a Tuesday night. It was kind of a strange Memorial Day weekend, you know. Not really seeing everyone maybe like we normally do. So I just felt like making these cards and sharing them with you all. I thought maybe you would have someone that maybe you need to send a hug to, or a mask card. Okay, finally done. So hopefully if you were trying to catch up, you are ready to rock and roll now. And if you're doing it along with me there, then and you've been inking, hopefully you're about done too. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is take our 2-inch piece and we are going to attach it here to the front. Now, it won't be totally centered in the front, but what I'm going to do is run my tape runner right as close to the edge as I can on the front of the flap. So I've applied the tape right to here, and then I'm going to just attach it to the one side and just cover the tape. All right, so now I've got my paper on there, and then we've got the sending you, and I attach that kind of towards the bottom third, and you're just going to put some adhesive right on that left end. And I lined up the S and the U there with the paper, and then we stick that on. All right, now I'm going to grab my scrap paper here, and I used a small heart for the front and then 2 larger hearts for the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those as well. Okay. And I asked you, I suggested that you use some double-sided paper so that you could choose. You might not want the same print there. So I'm actually going to use the other side, just the plain blue side on this one, and stick this here. Now I'm going to grab my pen, and I just was thinking X's and O's, and so I just kind of did a dashes with X's. It is a hug card. You could definitely do little O's, or you could just do X's and O's the whole way down. And then I went around the heart too. Okay, all right. And then now for the inside. So we've got our hug going on here, and to me, that's just the way the card opened just kind of reminded me of a hug. And so since the plain blue is on this side, I'm going to use the printed hearts over on here. And of course, this little flap is a little thinner, so I was looking at keeping it both like about a 1/4 inch off of the fold there. And you can also maybe do one maybe off like this. And on the inside, I kind of connected them with the same stitching, right? So that you can write your message or your sentiment down here. So I'm going to do that real quick. I don't know, to me this just kind of felt like motion, like, and also like just the arms kind of connecting the hug. All right. So that's that. And then this just kind of flips inside there. And there's your card, sending you a socially distant hug. And that is it for that one. And as always, if you do make these, whether you're doing it along with me right now, or if you watch this again later and do it on your own later, I'd love for you to post your creations on this post. All right, so now for this one, we're going to use the blue blade with our custom cutting system, and we're just going to go around like this. We cut our circle out. Make sure that you unfold it first so that you don't go through the whole thing. And then on this one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the same blade so that it's giving us the exact same circle. And that way we can just, in order to make sure that it lines up right, we're just going to do like this. All right, so I'm going to load this up first with some tape. And then I'm just going to fit it inside the hole. And then we just lift it up so that it's lined up right. And then to cut our little face mask straps, what I did was I just kind of cut through the center of the circle, and I cut 2 pieces like that. You can cut more if you want. And then we're going to grab our paper again, and I just kind of folded it over, and I really did just kind of eyeball it. And I thought this was cute to do with the printed paper because everyone's making these masks with all different kinds of prints and everything else. All right, so now we've got our 2 little pieces, and that's so we can hide our straps, and you can use the printed side or the plain side, whatever you want to do. I think I'm going to use this printed side. And now, if there's a hard part, this is the hard part, just because it's tiny little pieces. And depending how, I have fat fingers, so, all right. So what I'm gonna do is using this is my precision point adhesive, which I love for little things like this. I just kind of put 4 dots of the liquid adhesive like that. And I'm gonna do the bottom ones kind of coming straight out. I forgot to have you make sure that they're gonna cross over, and they are. And then these guys, I'm gonna kind of do at an angle. All right. And then you can either add more of the liquid adhesive or run some tape runner right through there. And then I'm gonna add on the front there. Okay. Then you're gonna line it up on your face here. And I'm not I haven't stuck it down yet, but now that it's lined up, I can draw my eyes. This is the most nerve-wracking thing. And then I kind of eyeball where the smile's gonna go. And as long as it's kind of in between where the circles are, and then it's gonna cover just fine. Now, to make sure that this gets stuck on the right place, what I'm gonna do is add just a tiny bit of adhesive on each one of these little ends, taking great care to not get it on the card itself. And then I'm going to close it and kind of position it, and then I'm going to flip it over. And make sure that those get nice and stuck. It just needs a couple seconds depending on what adhesive you're using. And there's your smile. So that's it. Now you've got 2 fun cards to mail out to some friends that maybe need a hug, or, you know, maybe you just haven't seen them in person in a while. Maybe it's only been on Zoom. So don't forget to sign the back of your handmade cards. And I like to put the year. Not that I'll forget necessarily when I made these. All right, and that is it. Does anyone have any questions about anything? All right, well, I thank you for joining me for this sort of impromptu card making class on Facebook Live, and I hope to see all of your smiling faces again soon. Just a reminder, there is a Zoom crop on Sunday afternoon, and the information's on my website, www.energeticexpression.com/calendar. So it's on the calendar page of my website. I'm so glad that you guys like them, and hopefully you have fun making them. If you didn't make them along with me, then like I said, go ahead and make them, and I would love to have you post a picture of them in your comments. I'd love to see them. All right, hopefully we will see you guys soon, and stay well and stay scrappy. See you soon.